Bam, we're live.
What is that? Sorry,
422,442 downloads in the last 7 days, just on the Apple podcast. Hi guys, how are you?
How many times do you practice saying that number in the last 10 minutes?
None, because I think it's going to go up before the end of the show. I just wanted to I'm like addicted to this number, even though the guys tell me to stop looking at it. I just cannot believe that what's happened to this podcast. We still can't go live on Twitter. Okay, I'm removing us from there. So we're on Facebook.
You gonna wear those
Twitch,
glasses all night?
and YouTube. I mean, not all night, but as long as I'm with you, I will be. I had a meeting today, all hands meeting at CrossFit HQ. I know a bunch of you guys want to know, what happened in that meeting, but this isn't the time or the place. Let's just be chill. We're going to go over Wodapalooza. We'll do another podcast where we talk about. I don't know if talk about's the right word. All right, guys. Stoked to have you, Mr. Young. Stoked to have you, Mr. Friend. Caleb, thanks for doing this. We are getting pumped. There is a huge event about to go down in Miami. What's it called again, Caleb? Do you have a screen so I can read?
Wodapalooza.
Yes, Wodapalooza. And there are some insane athletes going there, and they are still packing in, just like we are packing in the podcast. This week we are trying to get you. Who are some people? Anthony Davis, Tyler Christoffel. Christoffel? Did I say his name right?
It's enjoyable to listen to you try either way.
Okay, thank you. Let me see who else we have. Fukundo. What I say his name?
Facundo. We got to at least get that one right.
Facundo. I mentioned Samuel Conwaye, Matt O'Keefe, and other special guests. But who is going? Oh, we could have Hopper. I think we've reached out. I don't know if we've reached out to Hopper. We've definitely reached out to Danielle Brandon.
You should have Hopper and South on at the same time.
Say we should have them both on again. That was a shit show.
Hopper and Self at the same time.
Oh yeah, okay, I'd do that. But Hopper and Danielle Brandon, it's just like she's just flogging him the entire podcast.
That'll drive views up.
Can we? How? Yeah, that's a good point. Let's have them both on. How do we want to do this? Do we want to pull up the men's? Do we want to talk about the men's or the women's first?
You're the boss. We're prepared for all of it.
Okay, I think we should do the women first. I think the women are going to be a little bit faster, and the men could just drag on into the late.
You should definitely be bothering Danielle Brandon throughout the weekend, though. She's not competing. She's going to be there. She's maybe she could even come on every day.
That would be cool.
She could definitely tell you she could come on every day.
Yep. Yes. That is accurate. It's funny. Yeah. I don't even want to go there, but you're right. I'm totally open to her ditching us. Just like 2 out of 4 times. Every 4 times she's on, 2 times she makes it, 2 times she does not. I hope Sevon starts off talking about the meeting today. I am not. I'm going to show some discipline, and we're going to stay really focused on Wodapalooza, which is happening. It starts on Thursday, the 13th. Is that correct?
Yeah, Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
And you guys, you will not be there, John. You will be with us at the desk occasionally.
I will. Yes. Not in Miami, but on the podcast.
And when I say desk, I'm lying. It's just everyone's at their own desk. And then it starts on Thursday the 13th, goes to the 14th, 15th, and 16th. It's 4 days, and we will primarily be focused on elite competition. Is that the right title?
Yeah, the elite, probably primarily elite men and women, and then secondarily some elite teams of 3 coverage. But do you see Will's comments there?
Is it our Will?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Is that not him? Who is that? This guy.
That's our Will.
Yeah.
If you do the rankings first, it ruins it. Okay. Well, wait. What should we do? I think you should do this or that. Yeah, fine. Good. Thank you, Will. Will, why don't you come on and host the fucking show? What the fuck I'm doing? Okay, we're gonna play a game of this or that. By the way, I saw that on the Real Sevon podcast. I do not run that Instagram, you guys. That is just some random dude who just hijacked it and runs it. And if you send something good, like if you send dick pics, he forwards them to me. Other than that, I don't see anything over there. Okay, so how does this game work? We basically did a survey on
aren't all the dick pics that Sarah Sigma's used to get just being filtered to you now?
Yes. And then I send them back, the big ones back to Sarah as if they're me. We did a survey on the Real Sevon podcast. I think there was 5 questions. Is that correct?
I'm not familiar with this survey.
You're not? You didn't get the questions?
Me and Brian were going to go in blind and then see how it matched up with the people who voted.
Caleb, what's going on here?
There are 8 questions, and they all got answered by people who follow the Instagram. And so we're just going to ask these 2 the questions and see what they say, and then I'll read off the percentage of who or which one won.
Do I get to read the questions, or do you pop them up on the screen and then I read them?
I'll throw them up on the screen and you can read them.
Okay, cool. It's weird. I'm getting nervous, with Dave being fired and all, and then now you guys doing this shit behind my back. I feel like all of a sudden I'm going to get worked out of the podcast somehow. It's just weird. Nervous. Okay, let's go. Wodapalooza 2022. The game is this or that with John Young and Brian Friend. Earlier today, those of you who visited the Real Sevon podcast Instagram account voted on these questions, and we're going to see if you guys
Before we get to the first one, can I just say, if we do phase you out, we'll have a plan of what to do afterwards.
I need a bomb.
We'll have reasoning.
I need a shots fired. He gave reasons today in the meeting. They're exactly the same reasons I told you guys. Identical. Except he's not as articulate as me. Okay. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's hit it, Caleb. Question number 1. Which of the male athletes that is not of the legal age to consume alcohol will place higher? Dallin Pepper or James Sprague? Aren't these guys friends before we answer this? Good friends.
They are both part of Brute Strength. I think they're rooming together now in the same camp in Naples, Florida.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
I hope you guys answering this does not ruin their friendship.
I don't think it will. Do you want to go back and forth on who goes first, Brian?
Sure. I'll start off. I think Dallin will finish ahead of James.
No reason.
We'll get to that later on.
Oh, what do you think, John?
I mean, I'm going to agree with him. I think Dallin is going to be better than James, which is funny because James said that he wins most workouts when they work out together, but it's kind of like a Neil Maddox, Jason Khalipa scenario. Khalipa always said that about Neil Maddox, that he would win more workouts than not against him. But whenever the lights were the brightest and they were at the games, Jason Khalipa would end up on top. And I kind of think it's the same scenario going on.
And I mean, you just look at Dallin Pepper from the most superficial aspect, and you're like, yeah, he wins. He's got the bigger.
No. I mean,
no.
Yeah, maybe, but
strength is not a hole of his, and it is a hole of James's, and that's a really big hole to have.
I think that I wouldn't be surprised if James surprises quite a few people in Miami especially with some of his individual event performances. But I still think all around total package, over the course of 4 days of competition, that Dallin's just still ahead of him.
It would be better for the sport if James won. I want to see Dallin. Take a screenshot of your face. I want to see your expression because I said that. Dallin, I love you. Sorry, just target practicing. All right, you are a handsome man, Dallin, and the personality is going to catch up. Okay, so now what do we do here? We go from here. We go to see what the people said, the people's choice. See if they agree with you.
The people say Dallin Pepper.
Do we have a percentage on that?
78% Dallin Pepper and 22% James Sprague.
No card on that?
No.
Oh, shit.
Take that as motivation, James.
They were taking votes all the way up until we started the show. So
Good job. Will. Okay, so I'm gonna write this in the comments. 77% Dallin, and James is 23.
22.
Oh, 20. Well, that doesn't get us to 100. I'm gonna lie and say
22.
78 and 22. Okay. All right, I like this game. Sorry, James. Dallin's gonna whoop you up. Oh shit! I forgot to write James is 22. Oh, whatever. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm too big time. Okay. Next question.
Will, don't comment on 3 different platforms. One is fine.
He can't help it when I did that. When you post,
okay.
It goes to all 3. You can't help it. Okay. Who has the chance of winning more events? Sarah Sigmund's daughter or Bethany Shadburn?
Question. Okay, I'm first on this one.
Yep. I don't remember seeing that one.
I think Sarah has a better chance of winning more events, but I think Bethany will be higher overall. So I'll caveat that.
You think Sarah's got potential for more ups and downs, Bethany more consistent?
Yes. If Sarah had 6 more months of like just training on her newly constructed knee, I probably would say Sarah both ways. Like she wouldn't have ups and downs, and I think she'd be a runaway to win this event, but that's not the case. So, yeah.
I'll go with Bethany. I think Sarah just getting back into competition when she didn't win any events. I don't even think she had any top 3 finishes. Maybe she had a 3rd in Dubai. My guess is that her relative fitness is similar. Like she's going to have to take some time off from that and then ramp it back up. So she's probably competing at a similar fitness level and just, again, looking to build confidence. So, yeah, 6 months from now, different question, but I'll take Bethany on this one.
I mean, we can go through them, though. Think about it. Bethany's going to win the endurance.
Not everyone knows all the workouts. Just remember that.
Okay, yeah, but there's going to be a long endurance event. Bethany will probably win that.
Are you talking about winning first place? It's head-to-head? Or are you talking about like first place finish in the event?
No, first place in the event as a whole.
Okay. You think Bethany Shadburn is going to win that event?
Yes, I think she'll beat Emily Rolfe, if that's the name you're coming up with.
Okay.
Is that the name you're throwing at me?
I'll take the field against her.
Okay, I think she'll win the endurance event.
Is Emily Rolfe does Craig Ritchie sponsor athletes?
Yeah, he does.
And does he sponsor her?
The only one I knew of for sure was Jacqueline Dahlstrom. If they've
has she been on the podcast? Has she been on the podcast?
Jacqueline, I think so. I mean, she's with the program. We've had Gabby on and Christoph on, and she's.
Do you remember interviewing her on here? I don't remember meeting her.
Maybe not.
Someone DM me and said that Emily won't come on the podcast because of the. I'm trying to think of what I do to Craig Ritchie. Because of what I've said about him. I'll leave it at that. But anyway, so what made me think of that is who were we just talking about? It was someone else, one of her. Oh no, you guys were just talking about her. Okay, so scratch her off the list. I think Sousa. I don't think she can come on.
That's too bad.
I don't think he lets her. I don't think. Yeah, I mean, we'll keep inviting her. Okay. Well, we should invite Jacqueline Dahlstrom just to test the theory.
I would be really surprised if Jacqueline wouldn't come on. I mean, we're friends with John Singleton, Gabby, and Christoph regularly on the show. She's like spends her whole life with those people.
Why is Sarah doing this event? I guess Snorri kind of answered it for us. This is where she does a lot of her work.
Oh yeah, in the last 4 years, whatever, her off-season competition performance far surpasses her CrossFit Games performances.
And when it was during sanctionals, she did like 3 or 4 sanctionals too. She loves competing. She just as much as training.
Is this the biggest event besides the CrossFit Games?
I think so. I mean, I know Rogue's got a bigger prize purse and potentially, in a more prestigious athlete pool, but there are other things going on at that event this is for CrossFit. Like this is without a doubt the biggest event right now. Got almost 3,000 people competing there. There's going to be 30,000 plus fans in attendance. Dozens and dozens of sponsors and brands on site. In terms of the ecosystem of CrossFit, it's on par with the games, if not even ahead of it.
And this is like a super family event, Wodapalooza.
It's like
like by that I mean it's safe to bring your family there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, and for young single dudes and chicks.
Yes.
Yes, very
It's good. It's good for everybody.
Old single dudes and chicks welcome too. They got masters divisions all the way to 65 plus.
All right. Okay, old people too. Everyone's welcome. It's a party. Is it a party? Do they have a beer garden? Do they have all that stuff?
They got, I don't know if it's specifically a beer garden, but there are places to hang out, eat food, and watch on some like screens, monitors that they have around the site, the grounds there that aren't like, even if you're not in the stadiums, you can be on site and be watching those. Probably.
Have you ever seen anyone at Wodapalooza so drunk you're like, oh God, I'm glad I'm not in that state of mind. So glad that's not me.
Caleb, what did the people have to say?
Oh yes, Caleb. Yes.
They said Bethany Shadburn 72%, Sarah Sigmund's daughter 28%.
72 for Bethany, 28 for Sarah Sigmund's daughter.
Correct.
I mean, Sarah shouldn't take that as a dig. That's just, she's unknown.
John's got her back. Don't worry.
All right.
I'm the only one. I got you, Sarah.
All right.
We get to my rankings. I might not have it anymore though. So for that question,
which Jake places higher, Jake Marconi of HWPO or Jake Berman of Jake Berman?
When you guys see our rankings, this ends up being a very good question.
Yeah, I need to check mine. They're right next to each other.
Yeah, you literally are right next to each other. I have Jake Berman here by a small amount.
I have Jake Berman by an even smaller amount.
So this, when I voted for these on the Real Sevon podcast, this was the only one that I wasn't with the majority, where I got it wrong.
I'm guessing it was close to 50-50 though.
No, not when I saw it. It was not even close at all.
Well, it might have been super high for Marconi then, since we recently had him on.
Right. So okay. So you're saying it's because people recognize the name.
If the only people voting are the people that are following the Real Sevon podcast, then yes, we just had him on, and he's becoming more and more well known. They had similar finishes at their respective semifinals. In particular, the overall programming here, I think, is a little better for Berman than Marconi. I think even if one other implement had showed up at anywhere in this programming, that it could have been Marconi over Berman. But
what about this comment? Franco Dubac, Marconi knows the wads for days.
If you know that, then you know something I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's true. Okay, let's check it out, Caleb. Everyone's picking Jake Berman, including myself.
Well, the people say opposite. They say Jake Marconi is 77%, and then Jake Berman is 23%.
Wow,
I'm seeing a trend here in the percentage.
Yes,
it's like 3 to 1.
Every single thing.
So 77% think Jake Marconi is going to win Wodapalooza, the elite division, and 23%.
No. They think he's going to finish higher than Jake Berman.
Oh yeah. Sorry, they think he's going to beat Jake Berman.
Are those glasses working?
No, not really. Jake Marconi beats Jake Berman according to our crowd, but according to the experts, Jake Berman wins. Barely.
I like the question though. This is a good question.
I agree. It's fun to read. Who places higher, Ariel Lowen or the girl of high morals and outstanding values, Dani Spiegel?
Don't be like that.
What?
I really think it's a problem with the glasses. I'm pretty sure you meant to say that about Ariel Lowen.
Well, Ariel Lowen is a godly woman. Sorry, let me redo that. Who places higher, the godly woman and mother, Ariel Lowen, or the woman of high values and high morals, Dani Spiegel?
It's you,
right?
Kind of
easy. That's kind of easy.
I'm gonna say Ariel Lowen.
And I'm gonna go with Dani Spiegel.
You're crazy. You're out of your fucking mind.
What's your opinion here,
Do you understand
Sevon?
Ariel Lowen's a games athlete? What?
Dani Spiegel made the games this year too.
Oh,
She had to withdraw due to injury. She has a
How
much
many
higher.
how many
Hold on, John.
competitions has that happened, Brian?
She has a much higher risk for injury than Ariel for sure. And if she does get injured, then obviously John's pick would be right. But if she
That's a
doesn't get
great
injured,
question.
if she
How many
doesn't get
competitions
injured,
has she pulled out of? That's a great question.
this year she's pulled out of one and she finished one.
I think she's pulled out of all the competitions that test for morals and values.
Just saying, look, when she's able to compete healthy, she's better than people give her credit for. She's going to be good at a majority of these workouts, top 10 finishes across the board, a couple a little better than that. She'll have one terrible event finish. And I think that the way the scoring lines up, that she can do really well, actually.
How old is she, Dani Spiegel?
Dani Spiegel, 27.
What's the highest she's finished at one of these top competitions?
Well, she was fifth at Wodapalooza 2 years ago. She was 13th at the 2020 CrossFit Games.
Well, if she does win, it's going to be. I mean,
both of those
she does do well.
competitions had a similar number of events to this one. She was fourth, I think, at West Coast Classic. Very similar number of events to this competition, and she had a terrible event finish there. The field is not much different than it was at West Coast Classic, where she had all top 6 finishes besides that 27th in the ruck run.
And I agree with you. I think she could get 4th. I think Ariel Lowen will be better than that.
I will say this, and you guys, of course, will correct me if I'm wrong. If you do beat an Ariel Lowen here, or if you do beat a Bethany Shadburn here, you've done your job. Because and you leave in a good headspace, correct? I mean, these are the. You need to beat Emily Rolfe, Bethany Shadburn, and Ariel Lowen. Those are the big dogs here, right? It's not a deep field. It's a good place for someone who would normally not finish in the top 20 to make a name for themselves, to like pull all their shit together for this event if you're in the women's competition and strike.
Yeah, I would agree. I think if you beat anybody who's been a games athlete or multiple times, then yeah, it's a huge win.
Oh, I'm going to fall into the weeds here. Does Dani Spiegel beat Bailey Rail?
Bailey Rail withdrew.
She's out.
Oh, wow. What happened?
She's not feeling well.
COVID.
Thank you for that in-depth knowledge, Brian.
Omicron.
She put a post up about it on Instagram.
She's pregnant.
Brian, I just think Ariel is kind of like a Panchik. Like, she's really good at almost everything and doesn't have many holes. And Spiegel's going to be almost last in the endurance event. That's a fact.
How about Michelle Bassinet? Will she beat Dani Spiegel? I saw Michelle Bassinet doing burpees by the pool. She looks pretty strong.
What did the people say about Ariel versus Dani Spiegel?
Great question, Brian.
Ooh, I don't know what the people will say.
They say Ariel Lowen 63%, and then Dani Spiegel 37%.
That's a closer one.
Hey, and let me tell you why they're saying that. And I don't mean this to be mean to Dani, but I don't think it's because she's so popular. I mean, Ariel Lowen has 13,000 Instagram followers, and Dani Spiegel has 13 million. And I think we're seeing basically the same phenomenon we saw here with what was the other one?
Marconi and Berman.
Marconi and Berman, yeah. So
these questions are good. I mean, when we put the rankings up in a little bit, you'll see a lot of the athletes that you're asking about are very close on both of our lists.
All right, let's go. Who places higher, the Irish Spring deodorant model, Taylor Self, or the pig farmer from Iowa, Colton Mertens? Oh, I hate this question.
Skip this question. Let's come back to it when we do our men's rankings.
Yeah, this hurts my feelings. I don't want to have to choose between those guys. Oh, that's good. Who will have the most event finishes below 20th place? Who will have the most event finishes below 20th place? Oh, good. Saxon, Spencer, or Scott?
Who's up?
I think you're first.
All right. I'm going to take I'm going to say that Saxon has 0 and Scott and Spencer each have 1.
Just so you guys know who are listening, John and Brian know the events. Is that correct? Are we even? Do you know how many events?
What event are they coming last in? The endurance one, Brian?
Not specifying.
Okay, but the endurance one.
Yeah, and yeah.
I
not that
agree
one.
with Brian completely.
Before we go crazy with this, that one actually wasn't posted on the story.
Oh, great.
So we'll just skip that one entirely as well.
That's just who came up with these questions? Did Will come up with this?
Yeah.
And this is like his fantasy. Okay, skip this one.
Spencer is a lot better than people think. Just because you haven't heard his name, Spencer is like he's just like Saxon, but a little worse. I mean, he's a lot better than people think.
He is just a little worse. He really is a little worse.
Yeah, the problem is that a little worse doesn't get you to the games. If he was at the games, he'd actually do well on a lot of the workouts relative to the field there. But he's just like, 10 to 50 points, not good enough to make it through the qualifying.
Like he has trouble making the games, but he probably would be top 20 at the games.
You mean in the sanctional years, there were one or two competitions where he was literally one spot away from making it in Brazil CrossFit Championship or wherever they competed.
Well, this year wasn't he sixth at his semifinal?
Sixth or seventh, yeah. No, he's been right there. Like he really is very, very close to making it to the games. And if he is at the games, I think he would do quite well.
What are we looking at this week when we watch Scott? Is everyone just staring at his knee? Are we just seeing if he can run? Is that what we're trying to figure out? What's the deal with Scott? What are we trying to figure out?
I don't think he would put himself in the competition if he wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
All right. So there's nothing to look at. You're saying that we shouldn't be like, okay, let's see, that knee might be suspect. Scott is like the retired guy that gets Social Security money and then does odd jobs for cash. Okay, let's go on. How many events does Team Mayhem? How many events does Team Mayhem?
Can we answer this together, Brian?
Andrea, Haley, and Taylor win. Over 3 or under 3?
Over.
I think the better question is, will they not come first in one event?
I agree. Who's the second best team there?
We'll get to that.
Okay.
We disagree.
What are the numbers on this?
Less than 3 events is 11%, and then greater than 3 events is 89%.
11% of you are on crack because
those are their moms.
What?
The other team's moms voting.
Right.
Okay, let's go to the next question. We're gonna be here all night.
Okay. I'm first in this one, right?
I don't even understand this question. Who wins more events, the boys or Mayhem and Paradise?
So
does Mayhem have 2 teams?
Is Rich Froning's team. Rich Froning, okay. Luke Parker, and Angelo DeChico.
Okay.
And then the boys is training Think Tank?
Well,
I mean, they're kind of different people now. So Chandler Smith, Travis Mayer, and Noah Olson.
Those 3 are unbeatable, aren't they?
I think so. I'm going to say the boys. It's just better people, even though the other team has Rich, and he could be the best one or the fittest guy in teams. It's debatable. But those other 2 versus the other 2 on Travis
Wait a minute.
Mayer,
It's debatable
Olson,
that
Chandler
it's
Smith.
debatable whether Rich is the fittest guy in the team competition.
I think so. I think him and Noah would be close in an individual competition.
Wow. All right.
I'm also going with the boys.
And the points, Caleb?
They say the boys are only 23% and Mayhem is 77%.
Okay, we'll see. As Colton Mertens says.
Wow. Hey, I'm not buying this bullshit. How is 70% of the polls end up in 77 and 23?
What? How many more questions we got? Or was that?
That was the last one.
You guys don't want to talk about Taylor Self or Colton Mertens?
Yeah. Do you want to go back to that one?
Let's go see. Let's at least see what the
we'll
crowd
get to
voted.
it. Me and Brian think very similarly on that one. So when we get to the rankings, we'll talk about it.
All right, let's go to the women. Let's talk. How did you guys organize this? You want to just talk about the top 10 and then just move out of the women?
I'm good with that.
So how many women are
no.
no?
Caleb, pull up the chart on the far right of that tab. We'll look at like at least 1 through the one on the right with that has the yellow highlighted.
For those of you listening, we're pulling up the list. We're pulling up the list. Everyone can see it right here. We're just busting our nut. It's basically Brian and John's top 30, 1 through 30 finishes at Wodapalooza 2022. How many women entered this competition in totality? 42?
Scroll over to the right, Caleb. It's about 40, I think, at the moment. A couple withdrawals.
Okay. And the withdrawals you said were who? Danielle Brandon and Bale?
And Bailey Rail, yeah.
Bailey Rail.
So this
All
shows.
right.
So basically, the list on the left is my rankings 1 through whatever 12, I guess, and then John's rankings of those athletes you can see on the right side. I thought this was easy. It can be easier for people to digest. And then I highlighted. We can scroll down if we want to later on, but I highlighted the ones where we had the biggest discrepancy.
Yeah, Dani Spiegel. So basically, these guys have Bethany Shadburn both winning the event. Then Sarah Sigmund's daughter both have her taking second. So let me ask you this real quick, because I just find that so hard to believe she's going to come back. What girls beat Sarah in Dubai? Do you guys know off the top of your head what place she took and what the girls' names were?
Yeah, I have it right here.
And are any of those girls here?
Laura Horvath, not here. Kristen Holta, competing on a team. Gabby McGowan, not here. Sam Briggs, not here. Jacqueline Dahlstrom, not here. Andrea Nisler, going team.
Okay. So, and you're saying that all of those women, you know where I'm going with this, right? All of those women you just mentioned
are better than all of the other women in the field.
Are better than Emma McQuaid, Dani Spiegel, Ariel Lowen, Emily Rolfe, Fee Sagafi, Ellie Turner, etc. Is that what you're saying?
Not necessarily. I think Emma McQuaid is better than a couple of those women.
Then so how do you? So then what you're suggesting is that
it's a different competition.
Apparently, you think Dani Spiegel's better than some of those women too.
Yeah, get him. Yeah.
It's a different competition. There are different events, and I think that there's a lot less that's troublesome for Sarah in this slate of workouts than there was at Dubai.
So I'm focused. I was being naive and just focusing on the athletes as the variable. And what you're saying is that these competitions are significantly enough different that there can be a movement like that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we wrote about this following the Rogue Invitational.
Oh yeah, I read that. That was fantastic. Have your rankings changed between now and the last 3 shows that you did for the Morning Chalk Up? As you talked about it.
If so, just very minor.
Okay.
They only asked about the top 3 and then a wild card, and a wild card can be obviously very vague and whatever. So this is a lot more in depth.
Who did you say for your wild card?
I can't remember.
Okay. Sorry. Okay.
Are there on this list we can see all the way down to 14? We see Bethany Shadburn, Sarah Sigmund's daughter, Emma McQuaid. Etc. Okay, are there any big names that you guys that would be a shock to see down there?
The next one that's highlighted in yellow is Annika Greer, and I earned 14th.
How about this? Sorry to interrupt, Brian. This Manon Angusi.
Manon Angonis?
Wasn't she at Rogue?
She was in Dubai.
Dubai, yeah.
She placed 13th there.
Was she the one who touch and go'd the 100-pound bag?
Yep.
Yeah, you got to put her up higher. What's going on with you guys?
John's got her 14th. I've got her 19th, so he's a little higher on her than I am. You're higher than 14, Sevan?
Yeah, I mean, she's a savage. And how about this other chick I hear you always talk about, Sasha Nevis? How do you have her down so low? I hear that name roll off your tongue every once in a while.
It's not that low. Like, she's still in the top half of the field. Like you said, there's still a lot of good competitors here.
Do you just want to talk about
I didn't say that. I didn't say there were a lot of good competitors here. I said the female competition was weak. But anyway. That's why I'm surprised.
There's not as many recognizable names as there are on the men's side, but all the women through at least about 20 are competitive and could make a games run this year.
And I've done other competitive competitions in the past as well.
Are these all aspiring games athletes?
Oh, yeah, I think
I
yes.
would say so. Yeah.
There's no hobbyists in here.
I mean, there's some people that are definitely working full time and also training to try to make it still, but most of these have their eyes very focused on their training, recovery, and hopefully can supplement that with sponsorships and competitions.
Yeah. How about Chloe? How about Chloe David?
What? Oh, Chloe Gavin David.
Yeah, Chloe Gavin David.
You know, we haven't seen her basically since 2018 regional in a live competition. She had some really good workouts there and struggled with a couple of specific things. I mean, we have her here. We're at 25th, 23rd. Just don't know a ton about her. Like, she could certainly do a lot better than that, and she could also do a lot worse. We haven't seen her in a long time.
And Freya Mossbrugger, was she in the last chance qualifier last year or something? How do I know that name? Number 19.
Talk about her on here at all?
Or she pulled out of something?
We had a conversation about her. I don't think you did on the podcast.
Freya, she was 12th at the Atlas Games. It was an online competition this year. Interestingly, that can't be right. Never mind. But she's pretty young, and not many people have had a chance to see her compete. She has very good strength numbers, and she's, a really good size. 5'5", 150 is like basically exactly the size and weight you would want to be competitive female CrossFitter right now.
It's an incredible name, Freya Mossbrugger. Am I saying it right? Yeah, it's a great name. Let's see her Instagram. I want to see what this chick looks like. Yeah. She young? Is this like some 17-year-old kid? Oh, this can't be her.
She's 20.
Yeah, I got some.
I think Annika Greer is 17 though, right? Or is she older than that?
She's either 17 or 18. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe how many Freyas there are. Okay, I guess. Oh, wait, is this? No. Did you find her, Caleb? Freya? Let's see if I recognize her. What country is she from?
Canada.
Ah. Anyone have trouble getting here because of travel restrictions?
It doesn't seem like it, actually. I mean, it's possible that there's athletes I haven't heard about who haven't been able to make it, but it seems like everyone's finding their way.
What's the chatter, Brian? You must hear of some young lady who knows she's better than all these girls who's like, fuck, I'm just going to sign up last minute and take this money. Who is it? Do you know someone?
No, I don't know of anyone who's planning to do that. I do think that there are a couple women who will be in Miami not competing that would podium if they did compete.
And you're talking about Brooke Wells.
I don't know anything about Brooke Wells' condition with her elbow right now, but yeah, if she's healthy, she would be in podium conversation here for sure.
What is the story? Is she going to the game? Is she going to try to go to the games again this year? Is she going to heal up that fast?
It seems that way.
I think the Open will be her first competition.
Who else? Who else, Brian? Who else is hanging out in Miami? Who you think? Is Tia going to be there?
I don't know what's going on with her bobsledding right now. If she's still, I don't know if she's going to be in Miami or not.
Where does she train that bobsledding? In the United States? Is she up in Whistler?
She was in no. She was in like Latvia or something for a while.
Okay, because I'm guessing she doesn't want to move around a lot. I'm guessing every time you move around, you got to do the whole, especially those knuckleheads in Australia, they got to do the whole quarantine.
Yeah, Jack Mosley, yes. Jay Crouch is not making the trip. I don't know if he's stuck there, if he just chose not to deal with the hassle of traveling back and forth from that country. And this guy who keeps asking about programming the workouts for Wodapalooza. I work for Loud and Live. They contract me to do prep work for all the broadcasters and et cetera. So I've been working on that for a while, and John's helping me with it. The team that programs for Wodapalooza is the same team that's programmed there for several years, and it's just people within their organization. It's not anyone famous like Fraser or Froning or anything like that.
Famous to me. Is Dylan involved in the programming?
Yes.
He's famous to me. What is he the director of media over there?
No, Kristen is. He's the director of sport, I think.
Oh, who's high? Are they in a pecking order? Is he her boss, or are they like this side by side?
It's probably side by side.
Oh, I don't know. I don't think I've ever met Kristen. Just some emails. But man, Dylan's a great dude. Holy cow, that dude's a great dude. O'Keefe surrounds himself with good people, so I assume Kristen must be amazing too. All right. Can we go look back at the female list? Is there anything? I don't know what to say there. The whole thing is I'm just shocked that once again both you guys are putting Sarah so high. I think I think it's just a giant question mark. I love her. I want her to just whoop everyone's ass.
It is a giant question mark, but I think we both have her that high just because there's not people that we think will beat her or do better than her. The field is just not as strong.
Did you not know that, Savan? We rank everyone.
The field wasn't that strong. Hey, you're saying Dani's.
That we put the athletes in order.
I'm sorry, Brian. I'm sorry. I don't know how to word it better. Do you?
Are you saying Dani Spiegel qualified for the games and then pulled out? What region did she qualify from?
West Coast Classic. She finished behind Bethany Shadburn, Carrie Pierce, and Danielle Brandon.
Wow. And who finished behind? And how many? They took 4?
They took 4, yeah. And then, John, do you remember who was 5th out there?
Yeah, that's. I'd love to know who's 5th and 6th.
It was pretty close. I know Alexis Raptis just barely missed out. I'm trying to remember. Oh, it was Reagan Huckabee.
Yeah.
Reagan Huckabee was 5th.
And
Alexis Raptis 6th. Chloe Wilson, who's in this field, was 7th.
Is Reagan Huckabee still competing?
I haven't seen her name at all.
Oh, so she went to the games. That's why she moved up and took Dani's spot. Gotcha. Okay.
No. They both went to the games. Dani was at the game. She just withdrew after a couple events.
Okay. Oh, so they took all the way down to Huckabee, or Huckabee went through the last chance.
No, Huckabee was in. The top 5 were in.
And then Chloe Wilson was 7th, and she's in this competition as well.
My top 3 for the women are Bethany Shadburn, Ariel Lowen, and man, that third one's tough.
You got to say it. You got to say her name.
I don't want to say
who
it
you
until
want
she
to
comes
say
on the podcast. I don't want to say it until Emily Roll. Fine.
Oh, I was saying Sarah.
Oh, no. I mean, I want Sarah just to win, just like pick the whole fucking Wodapalooza up and throw it in the ocean and be like, I win, like the Hulk. But she's not. She's still recovering. But I want her to.
Yeah, Sarah beat Emily Rolfe in Dubai, and it was 2 of the worst events that could be programmed for her. Were the first 2 events.
Let me make sure I know who Emily Rolfe is. She looks like Wonder Woman to me. Like Linda Carter or something. Emily Rolfe, Instagram.
I had to talk Brian out of not picking Dani Spiegel for first place before we started this podcast.
Oh, really? Is that true?
No, it's not true.
Oh, darn it. Yeah, this girl is going to do great. So Bethany Shadburn, God, I feel like we've invited her 1,000 times to be on the podcast too. Is she represented by Craig Ritchie too? Oh my goodness. For those of you who are UFC and fight fans, when this Wodapalooza stuff is over, do we have a crazy week for you of fighters rolling in? It's going to be nuts. Okay. I'm done with the women. Emma, is there anything else you want to talk about?
Logan's last comment was great.
Why was Spiegel on that show?
Yeah, she won it.
Oh, she did?
Yeah. No, CrossFitters dominated that show.
That's awesome.
Matt Chan won it for the guys.
Wow. I didn't know that either, did I? I don't know if I knew that. That's awesome.
I think Margot Alvarez was second.
Let me tell you, if Hunter McIntyre went on that show, he would fuck everyone up.
You're not wrong.
He would destroy everyone.
He would.
He would mop that place up. I hate to say that too, but it's the truth. I want to have nothing nice to say about the guy, and then every time I hang out with him, I only have nice things to say.
It's basically a political Broken Skull Ranch, if you think about it.
A political one?
Well, I mean, like, TV'd up.
Oh, they won the same year.
Yeah.
That shit that Greg Glassman invented. It's only happened once?
I think so.
That shit that Greg Glassman invented, that shit works.
And Spiegel was against Margot Alvarez, like in the final. So they was both of them. And what's funny is they weren't allowed to say CrossFit, so they kept saying like fitness influencer. It was hilarious.
Why weren't they allowed to say CrossFit? Legal reasons, or they just didn't want to give it any love?
I'm pretty sure it was legal reasons.
The same agency, William Morris Endeavor, that represents The Rock, also represents CrossFit. They could have, excuse me, unfucked that. They should have. I mean, it would have been good for CrossFit. Okay, the boys. You guys good with the boys? Anything you want to say over there? You want to talk about Emma Tall at all? Is there anything you want to say?
We both had her in 10th. I think she's better than a majority of the women here, and anywhere that she places better than 10th would be a good finish for her.
If what? Is that her Instagram? Wow, she's gnarly.
Who is that?
Emma Tall.
Oh, we had her on the show. You remember that, right?
Oh, that's the same girl. Wow. I wonder why she didn't do Dubai. That would have been an easier trip for her, no?
It would have, yeah. I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah.
It was an invite only though, so maybe she didn't get invited.
Hey, how do you have pull up the women's list. How do you not have her higher? She's my third. I switched. Sorry, I'm switching from an Emily to an Emma. How do you not have her higher? Hey, let me ask you this before we go. Who would you switch if you could switch someone in the top 3? If you could have a second top 3, what would it be?
Not counting either of the ones we have in the top 3 currently.
No. Sorry. If you could I'm guessing that you guys all would keep Bethany at number 1.
If I could redo my podium, the only thing I would consider doing is putting Emma McQuaid ahead of Sarah Sigmundsdottir.
So you just switch the 2, possibly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that. Anything
I like
you
my
would do?
podium. I wouldn't change it. I got Ariel Lowen 3rd, Sarah 2nd, and Bethany 1st.
Yeah. All right. Fantastic.
Do I think it's a slam dunk podium? No, obviously that's not a guarantee, but I like those 3 and I wouldn't change it.
Wasn't Fee Sagafi super cool? We had her on. She was fun, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Fee's great.
What country is she from? Does she train with Gabriella Magawa?
No. She has been training under the guidance of Scott Panchik for a long time, but now she's moving to Naples with Dallin Pepper and James Sprague. Those guys.
That's right. We interviewed her at the Starbucks too. Yeah, she's really under the radar. She
keeps finishing like 7th place and 8th place in competitions, and it's not good enough to get to the CrossFit Games. So this is, where do we have her? 7th or 8th or something like that? Yeah. And she's got, she needs to do better than that for her sake, I think. But until I see her do better than that against a similar field, it's hard for me to project her any higher.
And she's Cooper's got her too. Cooper's everywhere. How many athletes does Cooper have? Well, this dude's got her too. This dude's like got her. Cooper's just kind of got her. Do you know how many athletes Cooper has, Brian?
I do not. All right. That top left picture there, that's her with Emma Carey in Naples.
In the bathing suit?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They maybe in the same post. They were out there with the guys as too, Dallin and his wife. And maybe and Matt Torres, their coach.
Soaking up all the sun in Naples with this crew. Sunday recovery done right now out on the boat. In Naples is what? It's about 2.5 hours from the event?
I think less.
She already made the move?
My feeling is that they're all like making the move now because they're already going to be in Florida for Wodapalooza, and per the I think that now is the time that athletes are really starting to prepare for the season. Plus, past the holidays with friends and family at home and whatever, it makes sense for a lot of reasons.
You like this? 165 hang snatch? 170 hang snatch?
She's fast on the bar.
Can Dani Spiegel do that?
Yes.
Nice work, girl. Great work. Okay, let's move to the men. Thank you, guys.
Caleb, I've already taken the initiative here, so it's all good on that same column on the men's tab.
Yeah.
Surprise, John.
Oh man.
Let me tell you, if you watch this show, if you listen to this show on Apple Podcasts, that's really cool of you. But if you don't, but watching it so much better. Okay.
Freaking Cole Sager.
Oh, you haven't even noticed. Yeah, good.
This is Wodapalooza 2022. This men's division is, in my opinion, completely savage. I am so excited because we've interviewed a lot of these guys, but there's so many just cool characters in it. Everyone from Patrick Vellner to the retired Scott Panchik to the dwarf Colton Mertens. I mean, it is nuts. And then you got Jason Hopper, the phenom that hasn't proven he's a phenom yet, working with Matt Fraser, the greatest of all time. And it's just you got the Panchik brothers. It's just nuts. It's not. I'm not going to say your name, Taylor. You haven't done anything yet. Sorry, you haven't done anything. Guy, you got Guy from the Mayhem Empire, the guy, the most beautiful Olympic lifter in the history of the CrossFit Games and the history of CrossFit. Better than that giant Russian guy. What was his name? Shmolkov.
And the fittest 5'4" guy in the world.
Yeah, I said him.
I know. I'm just repeating it.
Okay. Can you scroll down so I can see some of these other names? And then, of course, Brian's lover, Patrick Vellner, which is just weird. But James Sprague, we got just like new meat. We got Dallin Pepper, a guy who really should have gone to the games. Just a specimen, a human male specimen. That guy Anthony Davis, I think, is coming on the podcast maybe tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
I reached out to this guy too, Griffin Roll.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Marconi's going to be there. That's going to be fun too because I never paid attention to him. But the truth is now that he's hanging with Matt, I'm going to pay attention to him. He's got the Fraser mojo. Can we scroll down? Are there more? We got Jason Smith, the oldest guy who's ever competed in the CrossFit Games in the modern era. He'll be there with Band-Aids, and he'll be smelling like Ben Gay. You can smell him from like 3 miles away. Yeah, this is quite the scroll down. Where's Jake Berman relative to
No, there are more men competing than we just did our top 30. So there's like 42, I think, guys remaining in the field. So
let's start here just for shits and giggles. Guys, so one of the questions was on the Sevon podcast was who would finish higher out of the two Jakes? And there was a Jake Berman and a Jake Marconi. Marconi was on the podcast, and you guys chose Jake Marconi. But it appears that Brian and John both think that Berman.
And if you notice, Brian.
Both of them. Yeah.
Brian has Berman 2 spots ahead of Marconi, and I have him 1 spot ahead of Marconi.
Yeah. What's the most, before we get into the top, what's the most, where's the largest discrepancy between your two placings?
Griffin.
Which guy do you guys disagree with? And can I see where Griffin?
Oh, right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we reached out to this guy too. Hopefully we'll get this guy on too.
He's known as CrossFit Thor. He's better known as that.
Why do you have him 12th?
Because I think he's going to do really good in this competition.
What did
has event 2 been announced?
No.
Well, then
it was announced. It was announced today. Yes, it was announced today.
Okay. I think he'll place really high in event 2. If you go back and look at his friendly Fran time, he was like 10 seconds from being 5th in that event, and that was with the top 30 fittest guys in the world. Not Wodapalooza, but the actual CrossFit Games. And he's one of the strongest guys in the field. He can power clean 405. He'll be top 3 in the strength event. He's very good at handstand walking, so I think he'll be good in the handstand walking event. I just think there's 3 or 4 events where he's going to knock out of the park, and that'll be high enough. Even if he bombs the other events, it'll be high enough for 12.
And what is this he's doing here, John? Do you like this? What is this? What is that contract? That's like a GHD. That's like a Swedish GHD. What country is this guy from?
He's from America.
He is?
Someone thinks every person is foreign.
That's like some sort of year. Okay, well, hey, of course I think he's foreign. Look at this. That's a bonding. That's a bonding experience in Canada.
He front squatted like 490.
Wow.
Like he's one of the strongest guys in the field. Him and Anthony Davis and Guillermo. And I actually think him and Anthony Davis are stronger than Guillermo. Maybe not in Olympic lifts, but just pure strength.
How come you have Anthony Davis and Griffin Roll 16 spots different on your rankings?
Because I think Griffin has way better gymnastics.
Dude, this is 447 front squat for 4 reps. My goodness.
Yeah, his powerlifting, especially squatting, is insane.
Dude, he's vibrating.
Yep.
And look, he's wearing the same shorts as his girlfriend. Oh, nice finish. God. I hope he wears those at Wodapalooza. I thought he pulled his shorts up. Homie's wearing a Speedo. Man, that
probably are his girlfriend's shorts.
That is nuts. I think I saw he was giving Sam Dancer some love there in the comments. Okay, so Brian, are you just like John? Like, what happened? You fell off the back of the truck and bumped your head, or like you get it?
No, it's interesting that he's got him that much higher. I think he's a very comparable athlete to Anthony Davis, and I just don't think that the programming here lends itself to the strongest guys in the field as much as some other competitions might. I think they will have a couple good workouts and a couple bad workouts, but I think that there are a lot of guys who I have ahead of them, who I think that the program is just better for, and honestly, they're just more well-rounded CrossFitters.
All right, fair enough. No hate for the Thor, but just there's better dudes there.
No, not at all. I mean, look, like you said, this men's field is no joke. Like all the way down to 30 are very respectable, and there's the guys that aren't on our top 30. A lot of them is just that we haven't seen them. They made it through the qualifier, and we don't really know what they can do in a competition like that. I think that there are definitely guys that we don't have. I would say there's probably 2 guys that neither of us have in our top 30 that'll finish in the top 20 or something like that.
This dude's limber.
Brian, like he made it, albeit in a weird year. He made it to the games in 2020. Anthony Davis has never made it to the games. Jake Berman has never made it to the games. Like I have him ahead of people who have not ever made it to the games, and he's made it to the games. And I think he's only gotten better.
Okay, come on, man. Are you going to look at the roster of athletes from 2020 and then just throw that entire comment that you said out, please?
I know it's a weird year. But there's no excuse. Like the athletes you have ahead of him.
Are you going to make me do this, John?
They didn't do that.
Hey, watch the end of this clip right here. Because I think something crazy. I think that he drops the bar on himself or something. I think something weird happens here.
He probably just got there because of his front squat. I agree. But still, I think he's much better than you think. I don't think he's like Anthony Davis.
Anthony Davis was 10th at the Granite Games. Like, that's pretty good.
This guy just did 10. Oh, I thought the bar dropped on him because that was the picture he used.
Okay. Griffin Roll made it to the CrossFit Games in 2020 by winning the Norwegian CrossFit Championships or whatever it was. These are the people in the top 10 besides him that year. Josh
You don't
Woodhull,
have to read me the Norwegian CrossFit Championship.
These are the people he beat to get here.
And Jake Berman could have done the same thing, and he didn't do it.
He could have chosen to travel to that competition, but remember that 2/3 of that competition season was canceled. He did have competitions on his roster. He didn't get to participate in them. That argument doesn't hold water.
Dude, look at this dude's name, Seamus.
I'm not disrespecting Griffin Roll. Griffin Roll is great. All these guys are great, but I just think he's going to be in the mid-20s, not the mid-teens. I'm not disrespecting this dude named
Seaman either. Seamus.
Seamus.
Is
that how you pronounce that?
I would agree with you. It's not the best argument, but as far as the events go, what he's good at, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll do well in this competition, not just the strength stuff.
We will see.
Hey, look how he steps out here. This is like, does every single person do this when you get towards your max? Nope, not that. That's good. Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that.
We can't see what you're looking at,
Yep. Oh, sorry. I forgot that it was on screen. Sorry. I'm just getting off here on CrossFit Door. Okay. The CrossFit Door, send me $49.95 for that free advertising we gave you. You're not even going to finish in the top 20. So you got your look. All right. Oh no, this guy's going to be on the show. Shoot, I take that back. Strike that. All right. Can I see the list again, Mr. Caleb?
Yeah, let's scroll up to the top 12 or so.
I mean, we disagree in the top 3 too.
Oh wait, let's look at
Pretty
James
big.
Sprague. Isn't it amazing? Look at how close you guys have James Sprague.
Okay, let's scroll down a little for Sprague. Yeah.
I do want to say there was a last minute change by Brian about a certain athlete. We had the exact same spot, and he changed him last second.
This was always part of my plan, John.
Oh, you really?
I put
you
my
show
man
it
ahead
to
of
him?
you.
Wait a second. So you
No.
show him yours first, Brian, and then you have just to mess with him,
No,
and then you
my
have another
rankings
one.
were in before his.
That's not true. I put in my rankings on the spreadsheet, shared, and then I turned them all to white writing and shared the document with John. So if he was actually clever and clicked in any of those boxes, he would have seen my rankings, but he didn't catch it. So then after he put them in, I just turned them all to black, and it looked like they were all there. But even so, I left one guy in a spot that I didn't intend to have him just to surprise John tonight.
Oh, you're a good dude. I like that. Seamus, right. And Sean is pronounced Sean. Got it. All right. Thank you, Logan. Sure.
Who
Hey, I had Paul Saladino on this morning with Josh Bridges, and people just started calling in, like it's a call-in show. It's like what are you doing? Sorry.
The Tony Tone, Nick Matthew he's been competing for quite a while. CrossFit Fort Vancouver guy. He was up at the Granite Games. He actually finished between Colton Mertens and Taylor Self in 6th place, and they were all within 6 points of each other at that competition.
Tell me his name. Who are you talking about?
Nick Matthew. Tony Tone asked about him in the comments.
Oh, okay.
Said he's never heard of him.
We had Phil Toon on. We're starting at 20. Phil Toon. Brian has him at 18, and Mr. Young has him at 20. And I'm looking down a little bit further. James Sprague, they both have in the top 20. And then it's pretty clean after that. Scroll it down a second. Really, the only difference, this is going to be good, is that one guy, Griffin.
Yeah, he's a major outlier in the bottom half here. If we get to the top 12, we have some more.
Yeah, there's more differences in the top people.
Okay, let's roll up a little bit before we get to those top guys, because I have some questions about why some people are so low down here. Sorry, no. Go up to the top 20. Sorry, right? Yes, Ulis. Why this guy's a games athlete, right?
Yeah, so is the guy below him, and so is the guy below him.
Okay, so how do you have them? Are we talking about workouts again? How do you have him below these people who didn't make it to the games above him, which directly above him, Taylor Self, Spencer Panchik, and Dallin Pepper?
Well, the first two are perfect examples of guys who just haven't been good enough to make it to the games. But if they were actually in the games, we think would both place in the top 20 or ahead of the other games people. So when they're in their same competition, that's why we have them ahead.
So you're saying they come from weaker regions?
Yes. Those guys are coming from, Uldis and Yorgos are coming from Europe. Alexander Corona is coming from the North American continent. But I've written about this in the past where the number of spots that the North American men get at the games still makes sense based on the finishes that they have at the games. And there are probably 20 guys who didn't make it there that are very similar to the last 5 guys that do make it in. And it's just a matter of an execution error, getting one kind of a workout instead of another kind of workout in a 6 workout competition that the semifinals are. The games are 15 workouts. That's totally different. And I think that some of the guys who don't make it through the regionals would outperform some of the guys that do over 15 events at the games. But that's not how the qualification process works. And everyone knows this. Going back however far it was, you had to be good enough to make it to regionals. It didn't matter how well you did in the open. You just got to get there. Then you had to be good enough at regionals to get to the games. It doesn't matter if you're 5th at your region. You're in the games, you're in the games. It's a clean slate. But getting through those processes is hard and requires different skill sets.
Are you saying, if I heard you right, that the same way you think that there should be more females from Europe at the games, there should be more males from North America at the games?
I don't think so. I think the balance for the men is very good right now, but that doesn't mean that there aren't another 20 guys who don't make it every year for North America that wouldn't look out of place at the games.
Okay. I'm hearing rumors, by the way, that Eric Rosa will be at the at the Wodapalooza this year. Eric Rosa will be at Wodapalooza. I'm hearing rumors, and I expect the listeners of the Sevon podcast to greet him from the fans with a succinct and synchronized cheer. Let's go, Rosa. I think it's the only appropriate thing to do. Okay. So now so you have Taylor ahead of Dallin Pepper. So this is a big, let's talk about Taylor and Spencer. This is big for them. These guys really, really, really want to go to the games, right?
Oh yeah.
And they're good enough to do it. I think that's the difference is they see people at the games and they consider themselves fitter. And I mean, I do too. Like the bottom half people of the games, I would consider Taylor and Spencer both fitter than those guys. So it's hard for them to not make it and watch.
Scroll down a little bit. Put Uldis down at the bottom as the last guy we see, and then let's see who's up.
In the meantime, Adam Blakesley. How old is Christopher? 31. Yes, he used to compete with CrossFit 417.
No, other way. Sorry, Caleb. I want to see the top of the list. I want to see like Uldis. Okay, I want to see a few more names at the bottom.
And Tyler Christoffel probably should have made the games last year if it wasn't for Roman Krennikov taking a last chance qualifier spot.
Why do you guys have Jason Hopper ahead of Taylor Self?
I'm honestly, I'll be honest. Between maybe where Guy Mayeros and Dallin Pepper, that group of guys, I feel like you throw a ball in the air and they could all beat each other.
John, that's where you say you're crazy, Brian, or Brian, I couldn't agree with you more. Let's get a drink.
No, I couldn't agree with him more. I would say between Samwell down to Spencer.
Okay, then let's look at and then the only guys that then you would disagree on about that is Alex Vigneault. And Alex is a powerhouse, right? This is just a veteran that just not enough people know.
Yeah, he's really good. I think his games finishes, he's got like a 9th, a 10th, and a 13th or something like that. 8th, 9th, and 11th, excuse me. He unfortunately had to withdraw from Rogue, so don't know if what happened there or whatever, if he's 100% coming back. I would assume that he wouldn't. He doesn't strike me as the guy who would compete just for the sake of competing, so I'd assume he's feeling healthy enough to do this. And yeah, he's very good and he's very consistent.
And why is there such a big discrepancy from him? You kind of put him in the section, Brian, where it's like, hey, anyone can win. These guys are really, really close. And John has him as like, no, this is one of the guys.
Yeah. So why do you have him so high, John?
Yeah,
I think he's one of the guys, like Zavon said. I think there are 2 or 3, kind of like Griffin. I think there are 2 or 3 events that I just think he's going to knock out of the park, and then he's not going to come last in anything. He's going to be middle of the pack at worst. And I think the other guys will have events that they will not perform. I think everybody's going to have an event where they're going to be close to last, except for my top 5. And they're at top 5 because I don't think they're going to have any events like that. And he's one of those guys.
Why isn't he touch and go these power cleans at 205? You touch and go those, right, John?
There was a set of 200.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't
know. What about this? Does this concern you? Look at all this body work. He's got someone over here working on a nipple. Then you just go a few days earlier, and I saw some other body work being done. You got this guy working on him over here. I don't know what this guy's working on his psoas.
I mean, this is in the eyes of the beholder. You could just say he's investing in his body and taking care of it.
All right. And he's got a child that could be a major distraction, that's too small for him, that sled. He needs to get off that. Much too small for Alex. Okay. So do you have anything is John crazy here, Brian?
I don't see a top 5 finish for him. I would say like 7th, 8th is probably the best that I think he can do at this particular competition with this group of guys. But he's really good, and if everything clicks for him this weekend, maybe.
Oh man, and the same is true about Colton Mertens. John is not a fan. John is not a believer. Brian has Colton Mertens as 6th. And John has him as 13th at the Wodapalooza 2022, which will take place starting Thursday, January 13th, and head off
I
So
think there is a
Sunday.
huge possibility that Colton could win 3 events outright, and then he will also come last in 2 events outright.
I would also like to ask the fans
13th.
if Colton wins an event, I swear the stadium better yell, "Let's go, Colton!" It that would be nuts. That would be so awesome if he won an event. 3 events, my goodness.
John, can we take a trip down memory lane to the 2019 Wodapalooza, maybe 2018-19 season of Wodapalooza? There's a certain man named Dakota Rager competed there and took 6th place.
Yes.
Dakota Rager.
Is that your reasoning? That's your reasoning? Because of
Hold on. Dakota Rager's event finishes that year at Wodapalooza were 1st, 2nd, 14th, 19th, 27th, and 30th. The 27th and 30th came in events that had heavy barbell snatch and heavy axle bar lunge, both of which buried him. At least the first of which would have been probably also problematic for Colton. And we can say that because at the Granite Games this year, Colton had event finishes of 1st, 3rd, 12th, 18th, and 20th. 20th on the heavy snatch event. So even if he has 1 or 2 bad event finishes, with the way that the scoring is and the depth of the field here, I think there's still precedent for him to finish pretty high inside the top 10.
Where do you have
7? You missed it. That was too bad. You would have loved that segment. You should have to go back and listen to it.
Where do you have
Were you
Drew
schooling
Wayman
John?
ranked?
What's that, John?
Where do you have Drew Wayman ranked?
I don't know.
No.
21st.
Can we look at it? You have
21st?
21st. He got 4th in that same competition.
Yeah, I don't think that he's improved over those the last couple of years, though.
I'm saying I don't think you can use that year when you have this.
Drew Wayman is a completely different body type than him.
And I think Colton is different than Dakota Rager.
Yeah,
I know they're both little guys, but
I
think they're different people.
I expect Colton to do very well at Wodapalooza this year.
I do too. Like I said, I think he'll win 3 events.
You don't. You expect him to take 13th, John.
I think he'll win 3 events, and I think he'll come last in 2 events.
I'm telling you that people who win 3 events don't come 13th in competitions.
I think the field is better this year than it was that year.
You just did 3 videos, Brian. I'm looking over here with the great Khaleesi, Patrick Clark, and Chase Ingram. Do you think
the field is better this year than it was that year? Come on.
Let me go.
Do you have to smack any of them around like you have to smack John around, or are they more?
Sevan, let me read you the field from that year. Vellner, okay. Travis Mayer. Already we know it's better than this year.
Okay, go on.
Noah Olson, Drew Wayman, Saxon Panchik, that's a wash. Dakota Rager, Paul Castillo, Samuel Cornoyer, he's in this one. Lucas Esslinger, Norman Woodring, Alex Anderson, Mitchell Stevens, Elliot Simmons.
No.
Justin Medeiros.
This is better.
Nope. Justin Medeiros, Nick Block, Jeff
Before
Adler,
Justin
Mark
Medeiros
Jones,
was Justin Medeiros.
Sean Sweeney, Royce Dunn, Ethan Helbig, Mitch. These are a ton of games athletes in that field.
No. I agree. Listen, 1 and 2, I get it.
No, you disagree.
I did. Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're on the same page, right? Guy Malheiros, Jason Hopper.
Let me ask Brian a question. Let me ask Brian a question here about Vellner. Let's talk about Patrick Vellner for a second. Is Patrick Vellner, Brian, past his prime? Is that why you think that year was better than this year?
Is Patrick Vellner past his prime?
Yeah. When you look at Patrick Vellner and Cole Sager, are you like, these aren't the guys they were back then? That's why that field was better.
No, I think Vellner's just as good as he's ever been. Maybe better. And
I think he's still in his prime. Like it's the same. He's the same peak that he's sustained.
If I were to ask you, this is good. If I were to ask you to look at the top 15 and pick the number 1 guy you think would possibly pull out for injury, who would it be? The top 15 that you guys have, that Brian has there. Let's make it easy. Let's say 10. Vellner, Cole Sager, Saxon Scott, Ricky, Colton Mertens, Samuel Cornoyer, Guy Malheiros.
Include Vigneault because he's 4th on his list. I'm going to say Vigneault.
I mean, Vigneault's the answer, but probably either.
Is that because he pulled out in New York
or Samuel?
And you guys are going basically now. You're just saying because you've seen both of them pull out in other events before.
Of course.
Yeah.
What's interesting.
I mean, everyone knows this about. There's just certain athletes that this kind of thing happens to, and there's others that it doesn't. Right? Sarah Sigmund's daughter's had to pull out of many competitions and seasons. Katrin David's daughter never has.
I'm thinking about starting a fitness.
Never has, and he's killed himself in competition before.
I'm thinking about starting a fitness company called NC Fit.
Dude, Vellner came within like 20 points of making to the top 5 in 2020 with a pulled groin, and he couldn't even 1 rep squat his less than his 4 rep max. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see what the lady from Dubai says. Vellner gonna get better because he gonna stop making those big mistakes.
You know, Melissa, we've been saying that for 3 years, and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Heidi is in her prime.
We'll find out in a couple of days.
Oh, I think he'll win, but I mean, he's always won Wodapalooza.
Why Cole Sager so high, Brian? I know he's amazing. But I feel like I don't want to say he's as unpredictable. It's not Sarah Sigmund's daughter unpredictable, but it's squirrely, man. He's squirrely.
I don't think it's that squirrely.
It's the number of events.
No, it's the format of the competition. He and Vellner tied on points there 2 years ago, and he lost on a tiebreaker. Vellner had an incredible final day of competition to overtake him, but he did 5th at Rogue the first year they had it, but he's been not that great at Rogue the last 2 seasons. But his regional performances, his semifinal performances, those are like what echo this. He beat Noah Olsen at the West Coast Classic. Like, he is very capable in this style of event, and he doesn't have a lot of holes in his game. I mean, he didn't have a great CrossFit Games. That's true. He didn't have a great Rogue Invitational. That's true. But he's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. And with a lot of guys exchanging blows in this field throughout the weekend, I think he's just going to stay steady and find himself on the podium.
It's interesting that you have him as second. Just so you guys know, John Young has Ricky Garrard as second. That is going to be fun when being there to see those two interact, because they're going to be in lanes adjacent to each other if things go as planned the entire week, correct?
Correct. And I really want them on the podium next to each other.
Has there ever been 2 athletes who possibly have
more disdain? Is that the word?
Nah, because I can't be in either one of their heads, but there's tension there for sure. At least from the out. I don't want to set them up to like hate each other. I
don't think
I
Ricky
know both
has
guys
for
a little
Vellner.
bit. What? Say that again.
I don't think Ricky has disdain for Vellner.
No, and Vellner's such a good guy too. I think Vellner will look at him, and that super good part of Vellner will come out, which is 99% of him, and he'll just be like, "Fuck, it's just another dude." What do you think, Brian? But going back to what I was saying, there's never been 2 dudes in the sport who possibly have more tension between them. I mean, and for those of you who don't know, it's because Ricky stood on the podium at the CrossFit Games one year, and then later tested 2017, and then later tested positive for a substance and RAD 140, which don't buy because it makes your prostate big. And Patrick Vellner should have been standing on that, and so that moment in time was taken from Patrick Vellner. And that sucks. I mean, Patrick ended up getting the check and the money, but that still sucks. Like, those moments where Patrick Vellner could have been standing on the podium were taken because Ricky popped some pills before the event that gave him. We got to ask Ricky if he thinks those pills really helped.
Okay, well, we had a chance to talk to him in a week.
Yeah. Man, he has some great pictures of himself on his Instagram. So that's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be tense, right? It's going to be uncomfortable.
I think it'll be a lot of fun battles, and down the line too. I think it'll be fun to watch Hopper and Taylor battle because they're best of friends, are they not?
I don't know. They know each other well.
If I'm the other athletes, I befriend Ricky and make it even more uncomfortable for Patrick Vellner, even if I don't like Ricky or don't want to. You know what I mean? Like, just like kind of like give Ricky all the. I mean, because Vellner is the guy there, right? Let's not fuck around.
Right,
like,
right before the bell rings. Good luck, Ricky.
Yeah. Right, Brian? Right, John? I mean, Patrick Vellner is the man. He's the most senior. He's the fittest. He's supposed to win. He's the best looking. I mean, he's got the most.
I think
kids.
Jason Smith is the most senior.
Well, you know what I mean. Patrick
Or
Vellner
Scott
is,
Panchik.
but
No,
Patrick Vellner's the guy.
If he didn't win,
Yes.
it'd be a huge upset.
No. I mean, I know people give me a hard time about all the stuff I say about Vellner, but his competition resume is amongst the 5 or 6 best CrossFit male athletes we've ever seen. And no one else on this list can say that.
Not even close.
Not even close. You're talking
None of
about behind Fraser Froning, Ben Smith, and maybe Jason Kalipa. Am I forgetting someone? I mean, he's the next best guy ever. Fikowski's behind him. Vellner's resume is better. Medeiros is creating his resume.
Yeah, I agree. What are the chances of Colton Mertens winning?
The entire competition?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Less than 1%.
Yeah, winning the competition, getting the check, and your girlfriend, and going home.
Do it, Colton. Type it up.
And a Camaro.
Yeah, less than 1%.
Because there's some, and you know the workouts, and that's why you're saying that.
I mean,
he can't come bottom 10 in an event and win, and he hasn't shown that he won't do that.
Right. And why Taylor Self over Jason Hopper, or why Jason Hopper over Taylor Self? I know you said you could throw a softball in the air and whatever.
In particular with those two guys, I am very excited to see them both compete. Very curious to see how they compete against each other. I have heard that they are both extremely prepared mentally and physically for this competition. Part of me feels like I've underranked both of them on this list, but there's just a lot of good guys there and I do think the programming here is not I think there's better programming that could have come up for a guy like Hopper. I think this, and Taylor Self just needs to prove to me that he can actually execute across the course of the weekend, and that if something goes wrong, that it's not going to derail his competition.
And Tim Paulson, it would be fun to see Tim Paulson and Jason Hopper compete next to each other in lane by lane. Those are two really big men. That is some, and Guy.
I hope they're next to each other in event 2. I think that would be a blast.
Is that the clean one? That the first event they announced?
No, that's the assault bike thruster pull up or echo bike thruster pull up workout.
They called it Echo on Fran, I think.
I wonder why they use the Echo bike there and not the assault bike. Is that just all money? Is that just who?
They're using the assault rower.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I don't know if that's ever been used at a competition before of this.
Yeah, that's a good point. I've never been on an assault rower. How is it?
David Parker, poor Hopper, falling victim to programming again. I think that there's a chance that 18 months to 2 years from now that he'll be immune to programming. But it's the stuff he needs to work on is take a little bit more time than 6 months to get to the caliber he wants to be.
Look how positive Heidi is. So you're saying there's a chance. When you said there's 1% chance Mertens is going to win the whole thing. Man, Paulson would slap the shit out of Hopper, and there's nothing geez Louise, Geepy. Why? Yes, be positive. Yes, man, oh my. No one's slapping anyone. Let's go back to the list here one more time before we wrap this. What do we need to talk about here? If you're a fan going to this, who are the guys you really want to see? I mean, obviously we talked about Ricky and Vellner. You want to watch that. You want to feel the drama there.
I think
you want to see Colton Mertens, the shortest man in the history of Wodapalooza, compete. What else?
I mean, I think the Battle of the Panchiks would be fun too. We both have Saxon and Scott right next to each other, and it'd be fun if Spencer could throw a grenade into that. But that's a little fun narrative as well. There's a bunch of narratives in this competition.
I think that, to answer your question, I think 1 through 20 have great storylines, most of these guys. But if you're talking about specifically for contending to win, I think that you look at about the top 5 guys right there are probably the only ones with a chance.
It would be. There are some great stories here. If Spencer Panchik wins, if Colton Mertens wins, if Ricky Garrard wins, these are great stories. This is like great.
Dude, if any of those guys podium, if any of those guys finish in the top 5, it's a great weekend for them.
Yeah.
I would feel a little bad if Ricky won and Vellner came in second. That would be rough.
I understand feeling bad for it, but it would be great for the sport. It would be. It's just.
It would be great for the sport,
crazy.
but no one should be expecting that to happen. I mean,
No, I know. I'm just saying I would feel bad. That would be rough.
Yeah, but Ricky has to earn to even be in that conversation at this point. He did well at Dubai, but he was way behind Roman Krenikov. And Roman Krenikov is, that's the kind of guy that we're talking about with Pat Vellner.
100%.
Sousa's passed out in the alley behind CrossFit Livermore, high on fentanyl. But thanks for asking.
Again?
Yeah, right.
You want to go to teams?
Yeah. Do we have some of that?
Of course. We're prepared
let's do it.
all
No. Before we do that, we have the this or that. We have the this or that, Colton Mertens and Taylor Self. Good job, Brian and John, having us wait. How exciting to wait and see. Okay, can you pop the question up one more time, Caleb? Who wants to see Caleb? Any gay guys we have in the audience? You want to take a quick peek at this? Caleb, hold you over for the next 10 minutes? Or bye, anyone. There you go. Let's see. Okay, here it is. Wodapalooza 2022, this or that. Who places higher? The Irish Spring deodorant model, Taylor Self, or the pig farmer from Iowa, Colton Mertens?
Okay, well, we know that
Brian has Colton.
That's right.
And I have Taylor.
And what did the people say?
Oh, wait, hold on.
The people would said Colton sure.
The people say Colton Mertens at 79% and Taylor Self at a measly 21%.
Wow.
Motivation, Taylor. Don't let me down.
I will tell you what, Taylor Self is extremely motivated and extremely fit. And if you don't know who he is and therefore just default voted for Colton Mertens, or at least you don't know who he is as an athlete, you're probably going to be impressed by him this weekend. If not in the overall competitions, at least in a couple events.
But what I really like about this and is important is there is a competition here between those guys that's real. And what do I mean by that? Can we see the list again? These guys right here are proving something to themselves about who's going to go to the games. So even if Colton Mertens doesn't win here, it is important he beats Taylor Self. And for Taylor Self, the same thing. And the same for Spencer Panchik. And people like Guy, who we saw do great at the games but have some holes, this is also important that these guys don't come up and dethrone him, push Guy down too. So there's a lot of fun stuff to watch here in regards to that makes this event more exciting than just who's going to take first, second, or third. Like I said earlier, I mean, the Ricky, Colton, and Spencer Panchik stories are just all great stories. And throw Taylor Self in the mix too. Went to the last chance qualifier last year and just barely didn't make it to the CrossFit Games.
Oh, Will.
I mean, probably Taylor Self probably would have made it through there if literally anything else had been programmed than that deadlift.
I'm impressed by how many votes that gets. How is that? That Instagram account gets that much traffic? That's more traffic than my account gets.
Well,
right.
People can't get to your account.
You must be vaccinated to come to my account. I have a blocker.
I reposted that one story of yours. All my stories get like 1,500, 1,400, 1,600. That story got like 300. It's like that is like preventing people from even clicking on it.
Okay, let's go over to the team. Oh, let me just read this one more time. So Brian has Patrick Vellner first, Cole Sager second, Saxon Panchik third. And John Young has Patrick Vellner first, same as Brian. Second, he has Ricky Garrard. And third, he has Saxon Panchik. So the only place they differ is second place. So very consistent, two smart guys talking. Alex Peters. God, I love that name. I'm digging those glasses, Sevon. Thank you. Me too. They're pretty crazy. They're great for really sunny days because this top part is super tinted, and then this part down here is clear, so I can like look at my phone. And they are and they're prescription.
Do you want to do girls first? Because they'll be faster.
I mean,
I don't mean that in any kind of an insulting way, but
sure, whatever.
Matt O'Keefe just
Same,
texted me a
same
dick
thing
pic.
here, Caleb. We can go all the way to the right. Yeah.
O'Keefe just sent me a dick pic. It's definitely not his dick. Okay.
Actually, maybe we should go because we want to know who some of the athletes are. So maybe we should go back to the left and we'll look at the 1 through 5.
Oh, he has Mayhem. It's Mayhem there too. Why are you guys calling it Mayhem? Why not Mayhem?
That's their
Is the
team
F
name.
in there?
That's their team name.
Keep going left, Caleb, all the way to the first 5.
Oh,
yeah.
like that's the female team. Oh, I get it. I get it. Okay. Okay, we're comparing the teams. The first, how many teams are there?
There's like 35 teams of 3.
We only rank the top 10, but we'll talk about top 5.
And let me ask you this before we dig in: are most of these like hobby teams? By hobby teams, I mean like Haley, Andrea, and Taylor would never be on a team together. Haley's going to go individual, right? Are most of these just people who are just tuning up? Or are these like when I see the Invictus team, is that the team? Is that their powerhouse team that will show up at the games?
Well, the teams at the games are forced to have 2 men and 2 women, so it's a totally different format.
Okay.
Yeah, when you have it same-sex teams and the teams of 3, most of it's just to have a good time.
I see Kristen Holta's in there. It's interesting. I keep seeing her even though she retired.
Right.
It's her and Scott Panchik. And I see a Solveig Sigurduder. That's like kind of like a Sigmund's daughter, but shorter. All right. So this is the 2022 Wodapalooza event that will take place on January 13th. That's a Thursday and roll all the way to Sunday the 17th. And there will be a team event there. And the teams will consist of 3 females or 3 males, 2 different events. So the teams are separated by sex this year. And Brian and John Young have chosen their top 5. In first place, I mean, it seems to be there's no question. Haley, the great Haley Adams. I mean, what I've heard. I mean, you guys tell me that Haley Adams may be one of the best female CrossFitters we're ever going to see. She's destined to be in the top 10 all-time greatest list at the current pace she's at. And then we have, not arguably, but most likely the 2 best females who've been on a team together in the history of the CrossFit teams competition: Andrea Nisler and Taylor Williamson.
That's right. And there's really no team here that should be a threat to them, not only for the competition, but on a majority of the workouts.
No threat.
No. You're thinking about what you just said. The 2 best CrossFit Games team athletes, women, and a perennial top 5 Games athlete on the individual side who trains at CrossFit Mayhem and sometimes fills in as part of the team with Froning and crew when X, Y, or Z person can't make it. She's got plenty of experience moving a worm, plenty of experience doing synchro stuff with Rich Froning. So she's probably just as good as a team competitor as she is individual.
Oh, and these are all fucking Mayhem Empire pedigree.
Yeah, this is like if there was, I mean, I honestly don't know if a team of 3, any woman in the world, could beat this. They could compete with them, yes, but no, John, it's different. Team competition is different. And these, how good Andrea and Taylor are.
I mean, you put Tia, Cara, and whoever, Carrie Pierce.
Tia and Cara get in a fight, and they don't even make it past day 1. Are Andrea Nisler and Taylor Williams, who are the 2 best men who've ever been on a team together? Is it Hobart and Froning?
The 2 best men who've ever been on a team together?
At the games, yeah. I know there's a lot. I know you don't. It's nothing. This won't be.
Yeah, probably.
Was Khalipa? Who was Khalipa's teammate? Was it Neil? It wasn't Neil Maddox, was it?
Maybe Ben Alderman, but no, it's got to be.
Yeah, I would take Froning and Hobart over those 2. But
wow, that's a great name.
I mean, look, if you go way back, like
I'm thinking of the old Invictus teams.
Tommy Hackenbrook and Adrian Conway were very good. But I think, yeah, it's really hard. It's really hard not to pick Froning and Hobart.
And so that's who that is. That's my point. Andrea Nisler and Taylor Williamson. That's who we're looking at. We're looking at the Froning and Hobart.
No, because neither one of them has the pedigree of Rich as an individual. We're talking about 2 people who've been basically committed to team competition and being elite at it for 7 years.
Yeah, they're their own thing though. They're not the same as Rich and James. They're both team people.
It's Yeah, I mean, it's more like guys you probably don't know that much about them, like Dex Hopkins and Tyler Christoffel from CrossFit 417. Like these guys were two of the best team athletes that never really ventured into the individual side for a long time. They were just dominating in the team circuit.
And now Christoffel, is that the guy? No, and now we're going to
Yeah,
get
now
him
he's
on the
competing
show.
as an individual. Yes.
Huh? That'll be a great question for him. Why'd you switch? Did he switch? Is it for sure, or is he just fooling around here?
Yeah, he tried to make it last year.
He did. Okay. And then in second place, Brian has Team GoWad. Is that like that app thing that everyone's always promoting where you stretch around and shit?
Yeah, they are sponsoring one men's team of 3 and one women's team of 3.
And I don't recognize any of these. I don't know any of these women.
You don't know Mia Hesketh?
No.
Oh.
And
Bill
and what's in,
Hesketh. Do you know that name?
That's okay. They're pretty good. These women are all pretty good. And they've, I think they competed as a team in Madrid earlier this offseason. Also, the field of teams of 3 of women is open for a lot of opportunity here. I think that in particular, the team that we have in third place is of interest to me. Carolyn Prevost's team, Sevan. I'm sure it's of interest to you too.
Yep.
And Alexis Detroit, her girlfriend, and Daniel Dunlap, who barely missed going to the games this year out of the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Challenge, and also has podiumed at the CrossFit Games on Team OC3. If I'm not mistaken, that year was with her other 2 girls on her team were Andrea Nisler and Taylor Williamson, maybe.
Oh, wow.
I'm not 100% sure of that. But she was on OC3 in 2018, and I know that Taylor and Andrea competed on that team for several years. Maybe someone in the comments will be able to confirm this.
Daniel Dunn.
Yeah, I think there's only one person in the world that actually has the roster of athletes who've competed on the teams at the games for every year that it's been around. I don't know where to find that really.
Is that Schrader?
Yeah.
Schrader or Schroeder?
Confirmed. Swolverine said, yeah, Daniel Dunlap was on the team with Nisler and Williamson in 2018 that took 3rd place. So that's a very good team. And I debated putting them up in second, kind of feeling like maybe I should have.
This Wolverine. That's the supplement that's why Colton Mertens is so good. That's them, right?
That's his sponsor, yeah.
Yeah. All right. What's up, Swolverine? Maybe you should sponsor Brian. Brian needs some Swolverine. You seen that shit he's doing on his Instagram? And down here we have this Born Primitive Underdogs on John's list. These guys train at the same gym as Daniel Brandon, Bethany Shadburn. Yeah,
they do.
Yes.
I think I have them 7th. Certainly could make a top 5 run. I think they're pretty good. Alex and Kyra obviously less known than Allison, but they'll be. I'd be surprised if they weren't solidly in the top 10 throughout the competition.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Alex Gazan is a Swolverine athlete. Is that true? In the comments,
Swolverine. Check. What was the guy's name who I just DM'd him and asked him if he would come on the show? Justin
Berg?
No, not Justin Berg. Justin Berg has such fantastic business acumen. Yes, acumen. We need business acumen. No, Justin. It starts with a C.
An athlete?
No, it's a coach.
Kotler.
Daniel Brandon's
Justin
coach.
Kotler.
Justin Kotler. Yes, Justin Kotler. So he coaches a team. Man, how do these guys do this? Is Facundo going to be all spun up too? Is Facundo going to be just like a 3-headed dog, just not know where to go?
Kotler has a whole stable of coaches now that Underdogs has assembled in this offseason. But nevertheless, I think he'd be able to manage it on his own. He's got a lot of experience doing this.
Yeah, I went to their Instagram account. That shit is blowing up over there. Hey, how do they run this at Wodapalooza? Is there just one? Do the elites just all would there be elite teams and elite individuals going on at the same times, and I have to choose which one I want to watch?
No, for the first.
But they'd have the elite dudes and then the one-arm dudes somewhere else competing.
There are four competition stages. One of them is going to be occupied by something called the Gauntlet for 3 of the 4 competition days. But for the rest of the the other 3 stages on those days, there will be competition basically going on from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m. more or less, and all of it is going to be streamed. I'm under the impression that on the stages that the elites are not competing on, there'll be a camera or cameras that are showing the competitions there throughout each division as they come through, so everyone can watch their coach, parents, friends, etc., kids, whatever, who are competing in that way. And then when the elites come to a stage, then there'll be a more robust broadcast, a much more robust broadcast.
And that's streamed on YouTube.
No, that's streamed on the Sevon podcast.
Right. We will have it and be talking,
which is on YouTube.
Through the
yes,
which is on YouTube.
Right. And what is this gauntlet thing? This gauntlet thing is for people who aren't good enough or too scared to like try to get to Wodapalooza. So you go there and pay $10 and they beat up on you. They just put you through some workouts and you can get your swole on so you can take your shirt off.
That's exactly it.
All right. And what about little kids? Who can do the gauntlet? Is that for everyone?
Mm-hmm. Not sure.
And do they declare a winner of the gauntlet?
Yeah, they actually have a finals for it on Sunday morning.
Oh God, this event is dope.
I think they're also going to have a celebrity heat at the gauntlet with some of our friends competing there.
Hey, oh really?
Mm-hmm.
You mean after you're done competing, then you'll compete again for some celebrity gauntlet?
No, I mean guys like Tommy Marquez and Buttery Bros and maybe O'Keefe, those types of people.
Yeah, those guys.
Brian.
Maybe me. Who knows?
Nah, don't do that. Oh yeah, do it.
Gotta get a workout in sometime.
Heidi wants to see you with your shirt off. Now listen, why doesn't the games do this? This is brilliant. This is brilliant. You let anyone who wants to there sign up and go through and do like how many events are in the gauntlet? 1, 2, 3?
Somewhere between 5 and 7 in an hour.
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you
They're short
sign up.
workouts, but you get minimal rest, and then you got to do, like you said, 5 to 7 of them.
Yeah, they should just do like, even if they just did 2 or 3 workouts, you could run thousands of people through it. And then like Brian was saying, then on the final day, you let the top 5 just compete in front of the whole crowd, right?
Yeah, that's basically what's going to happen.
Oh man, what's wrong with the CrossFit Games? No wonder they got rid of Dave. No wonder they got rid of Dave. Too soon. All right, let's go back to the list of teams. No, let's not go back to the list of teams. Let's go. Wait. Is this it? After the teams were done, we did the dudes?
We haven't done the men's team of 3, and it's much more
okay.
interesting than the women's teams of 3.
Okay, let's switch over to the men. Chandler Smith, Noah Olson, Travis Mayer. You guys both have the name of that team is called the Boys. Racist. How do they get away with calling that team the Boys? How? It's not. It's cultural appropriation, or it's racism, or something. Something's wrong with it.
How's it racist?
What?
How is it racist?
The boys. Chandler Smith is black, and Noah Olson is white, and Travis Mayer is something Asian. And you can't have the boys as a term. It's just something's wrong with it. I know. It's either cultural appropriation or it's racist. I'm just saying. But I guess they get a pass because they're the biggest names in the sport. You're just not woke enough, John. You're not woke enough. You don't get it. Okay,
tired.
That team, those guys are all individual athletes. Those guys, why are those guys here? Why are those guys doing it? Just to tune it up?
Well, you have to remember the elite men and women's teams of 3 competition at Wodapalooza was a huge draw for some of the top CrossFit Games athletes for a long time before they were forced to switch to 2 and 2, male and female, for the sanctional format. And the last time they had elite team of 3 competition, Noah Olson, Travis Mayer competed on a team with Will Morad and took 2nd place. So they've done it before.
I mean, these aren't just games athletes. These are the best of the best. These guys are these guys.
Yeah, they're all top tier for sure.
Yeah, interesting, but fun. The crowd's gonna eat that shit up.
Oh yeah, this is a huge draw. The men's teams of 3 division have at least 10 and maybe 15 teams. Not everyone will know all those teams that are very good teams, because a lot of the European teams people don't really know yet.
How come I can't? Logan Collins has been around forever, hasn't he?
Yeah,
he's been to the games a bunch of times.
He got the short end of the stick this year, I think, being forced to compete in the Atlas Games online. I think he would have had a better chance of making the games in person.
Yeah.
He's a bald dude.
Mm-hmm. But this team, so Travis Williams, Roy Gamboa, and Jordan Cook, competed as a team of 3 in 2017 and won in Wodapalooza. So this is
dude-
also not unfamiliar territory for them. And Logan Collins is Jordan Cook's a really good team athlete. Logan Collins is probably a little bit better as an individual CrossFitter. So they're going to be tough to beat.
How old's Logan Collins?
Was
He's
probably
like
the fittest person on their team.
No shit.
Yeah.
At some point, he was for sure. I think he has got a top 10 games finish to his name. Maybe 11th or something like that.
How old is he? He looks like an adult. Not there. That's better. That's better. He looks like a child there.
Logan
30.
Collins, 30. Roy Gamboa,
Okay.
34. Travis Williams, 29.
And Travis Williams is the he was the misfit guy who lost 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Now he's the jump
funny.
ship.
I can't believe we've never had him on the podcast. I think I invited him to the CrossFit podcast once, and then I got called away for a meeting. Yeah, he's cool as shit. And Roy Gamboa, we know, is a favorite of Brian's. You guys went to the same college or something, Brian?
Same conference in Texas.
Same conference. Yeah. And a good dude and kind of a staple at the games for a long time. What year was his first CrossFit Games?
Oh, 2014?
14?
Yeah, probably 2014.
Yeah, nuts. And where's he? Where's his hometown, Roy Gamboa?
I think it's still Abilene, Texas.
2015.
I
Or
want to
13,
stick him in
13.
Hawaii.
He missed
wanna
in
put-
2014.
Yeah,
13,
2013.
15,
he missed in 14, and then he was in 15.
20, 21. Oh, yeah.
And I bet you Travis Williams came up with that name, Team Hercules. It's pretty immature. And that's how I think of Travis Williams, immature. Okay. And then, wow. And you have Mayhem and Paradise in third, and John has them all the way in fifth. Do you have them in third just out of respect, Brian, or you really think, I mean, who's the weak link there? It's Angelo DiCicco. He's an unknown. He's coming back from some injury.
It's not the Luke Parker you're thinking of, I don't think.
It's not Lucas
Spider-Man.
Parker.
It's Spider-Man. No, it's Luke Parker from The Bachelor. It's that dude. He was on the show.
Yeah.
He's not a savage. He's not knocking on the door. He can't almost go individual. He's not at the Taylor Self, Colton Mertens level.
Him and Angelo DiCicco were at the same semifinal.
Angelo
And-
smoked him.
Yeah, and Angelo he was either 6th or 7th. He was very close to making it. And Luke Parker wasn't. I mean, he was like first or
20th.
second heat. Yeah,
No.
What year was that? That was last year?
last year. Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, I thought Angelo DiCicco had like stepped away from the sport for a couple years, became a fireman. That is
That
true.
That is
No,
true.
you're not. You're right. He won the
Yeah.
team division a couple years, and
He had
then
a
hurt
back-
his back.
He had a back problem that he didn't know if he'd ever to be able to compete again. And then he was able to, and he's been training pretty hard, I think.
And then over here across, you have Con Porter and James Newberry, obviously super well-known athletes in the CrossFit Games. And who's this guy, Matt DeLugos?
Matt DeLugos is up and coming. He was 10th or 11th at West Coast Classic. He is also under Justin Kotler in the underdog group. He's 6'4" or 6'3" or something like that. He would be the tallest guy in CrossFit if he were to make the games. He has
he's a
anatomical
man.
deficiencies, but there's stuff he can do that nobody else can do.
Oh, let's hear. Like what? Like get the plates from the top shelf?
That or so in the quarterfinals, the workout was 120 wall balls and 120 cal row, and he was first in the entire world. He tied one person, and that other person was Jason Hopper. It's kind of cool news, but he's up.
Hey,
and
look how
coming.
big he is. He's got like that Tony Robbins shit going on. Almost like he's really big. I'm gonna say 6'5". Let's say 6'5". Let's just fucking overtake it. I mean, look at him here. He looks like a basketball player here.
Very good endurance, but obvious like anatomy. Think a lesser Fikowski.
I think anyway, back to the rankings. I think that John's got this team a little bit high. They were intending to have Jay Crouch compete with them. We already know he's not going to be able to make the trip. But both Con Porter and James Newberry seem to be in transit from Australia right now, which is not giving them a lot of time to acclimate to the pretty drastic time change. And I don't know what kind of experience that they have working with DeLugos. I think Khan's trained with those guys quite a bit at one point, but I think they'll do well. I don't think they'll podium.
I don't
Okay,
put
Justin
as much stock
Collar.
into
This is their
teamwork when
coach.
it's
This is-
3 people.
Their coach is buff too. Was this guy's wife a games athlete?
She's definitely good at CrossFit.
Yeah, all right. Your turn, Caleb. I want to look at that really quick. So let's play this game here really quick. Who on Con Porter and James Newberry and Matt DeLugos' team is better than Rich Froning?
What?
Nobody.
Okay, I'm just we're starting the game off so you can see. And then who's better than Angelo DiCicco on their team?
Con and James and maybe Matt, depending on the event.
I'm not sure any of them are.
Okay.
That's where we disagree.
I don't know how good those guys are right now, honestly. They've been traveling around the world all year. James has been doing a bunch of other types of different things. They're still very good, but I think Angelo is focused on being good at CrossFit right now, and the other guys have different pursuits. DeLugos might actually be, the most focused on that team in terms of trying to improve as a CrossFitter at the moment.
Is DeLugos from Australia also?
No.
Oh. Because the team's name is Thunder from Down Under.
Yeah. They actually Con Porter put up a pretty funny post about that maybe earlier today, and he explained how they navigated around that situation.
Why was it frowned upon?
No, he's rating in jest.
Oh, okay. Is it? God, he seems like such a nice guy. I wish I would have got to know him. Con Porter.
This is the one. Somewhere in here he says,
rather than change our team name to something clever which isn't region specific, I had James pull some strings and we managed to get Maddie an official Australian citizenship for the weekend. Thunder from Down Under lives on. Okay. Because originally they were supposed to have Jay Crouch.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Wow, look at that outfit James Newberry's wearing. Where do you get that? Is that a onesie?
Rumor has it you can expect some pretty unique outfits from this team throughout the weekend.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay, and is that a sign that they're not taking it seriously?
Look, they're fit guys. Like, they're gonna do well. I just don't know if they can podium against this group of teams.
Okay, let's put Luke Parker up against those guys. Let's go back to that list. Is Luke Parker who on their team is fitter than Luke Parker?
All of them.
All of them by a lot.
Okay.
I think Luke's improving, but and I think the thing that we know about Rich is that he gets the most out of his teammates.
Again, though, it's a team of 3 and it's same-sex teams. I don't think teamwork is going to play as much of a role as it does normally, especially as it does in the games.
On certain events, they'll have some events where teamwork will carry the day, and Mayhem will probably do really well on those events. And on the ones where it's a little bit more individual fitness that matters, a team like them could place ahead of them. I just don't think they'll place ahead of them by that much.
Smith brothers, are Alex Smith and Dane Smith still? Is this just fun for them? I mean, Ben Smith, I'm taking it, is still trying to go to the CrossFit Games, right? Like, he's still in it to win it.
That's honestly, it's hard to know. I really don't know where all 3 of their relative levels of fitness are right now. Ben Smith was very underwhelming at semifinals last year. Dane is, basically working full time as a firefighter, but it seems like he's still making pretty good progress in his training. And I haven't been paying much attention to Alex Smith's training in general, but if he's coming to this competition, you have to assume that his fitness is still pretty high.
Well, let me ask you this: does Alex Smith have a coach?
Do you know, John?
No.
I
thought he was working out with Spiegel.
Spiegel? Isn't she still with Invictus out in San Diego? I'm pretty sure she's been training with them.
Where is this gym right here that he's in here? What's this one? It's a toe spacer ad or something. Okay. Let me know as I scroll through these if you see a gym. Let's see if we can figure out where he's at. It looks like he's just traveling and working out and just being hot. like that. What do you do? I just work out, stay hot, go to waterfalls with puppy dogs.
Yeah, I wanted to put the Smith brothers on the podium, but when I just started thinking about it, it's kind of the same as a Thunder Down Under team. I don't know that they're all totally invested in being as fit as they can possibly be as some of these other teams are.
Look at that bar has uneven. That's definitely not even. Yeah. Look at this clean right here. There's more weight on the right side. Okay, and he's going for it. Shit. All right, fine. Do it. Handle your business.
21.4.
He doesn't know that there's that it's different.
Extra plate on there. Oh, who's this girl right here? Do we know who this is?
Dani
Happy
Spiegel?
birthday. Oh, that is Dani Spiegel. And where does she train out of? She's at in Las Vegas.
Invictus.
No, she's
in San Diego.
Invictus.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, Dani Spiegel and Alex Smith have I think have a great relationship and friendship.
New year, new season, preparing for anything. This is Alex Smith, Ben Smith's younger brother, his Instagram account. I'm reading this to try to figure out how serious he is about his fitness. Is he just doing this for fun to be a supermodel, or is the games next for him? So let's read this. A new year, a new season, preparing for anything that's going to be thrown at us this year with True Grit Fitness. First up, Wodapalooza, and then the Open. I spent some time working on my mental game, learned a few breathing techniques, when under high stress with big wave surfer Billy Kemper, and trained with North Shore lifeguards last month. Feeling ready to attack this year with everything that. Oh, okay.
I kind of like that. I kind of like this post. I think that there are not enough high level CrossFitters that take like a full year away from competition to maybe do all of those things that he's talked about. And if he's coming back this year with the mentality to compete, I mean, he is definitely a outlier. He's a freak who can do like things that no one else can do. And very, very strong, incredible gymnastics. And if he's really been focusing on his breathing, and that can have an impact on his ability to execute high-level aerobic workouts, Alex Smith could have a great year.
So when you say he's a freak, go ahead. John,
Allegra said that he's at Krypton. I knew he was at Proven,
Okay.
but that he left. But she said that he's at Krypton. So that's with Ben Smith.
And Laura Horvat.
Occasionally.
Oh, no. What do you mean occasionally?
Well, she's not there. I mean,
I
she's
think Laura's in Hungary right now.
No, but didn't she go there for a couple months?
that's where she comes to train prior to competitions that are in the United States.
It's worth noting she's a savage. She's gonna push these dudes whether they're dudes or chicks. So, but when you say he can do stuff that other guys can't do, what do you mean? He's a former gymnast or something, or what's he got going on? Alex Smith. What's he good at?
Yeah, that stuff. I'm talking about like literally tricks in the gym he can do that are like crazy. And they do carry over to some workouts where he's got a big advantage because of his ability to do these weird things. But he also has cleaned 400 pounds. Like not a lot of guys can say that. So he's very strong, incredible, elite, amongst the best in the world in some gymnastics stuff. And he seems to be working on his aerobic. So, he's already had success at the highest level. And
what's the highest he's finished at the games?
I don't know.
18th. He's my best guess. What do you say, Brian? Off top, best guess.
I like that guess.
And here he is less than a year ago with the Proven athletes.
25th.
Man, there's no better name to describe Tia than Proven. They nailed it with that. Oh shoot, that wasn't even up on the screen. I apologize, guys. Okay, thank you. Did we run through it and get it all? Did we do the men? We did the women.
I think so.
I'm going to let me see if the calendar has been updated. I want to give you guys a quick look at who we're going to be talking to tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. We have Anthony Davis. Oh, that's going to be cool. Never spoke with him before. He's going to be competing at Wodapalooza. Then at 12 p.m., this is our Pacific Standard Times, we have Samuel Cornway. Then on Wednesday, the 12th, at 4 p.m., we have Matt O'Keefe. I suspect we will try to get Tyler Christophal or Griffin Roel.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. Okay, Griffin Roel. Sometime on Wednesday, also we have a spot open there, and then Thursday the 13th, the event starts. We'll have if we can get our passes from O'Keefe or Kristen's the one. If we can get our passes from Kristen. The plan is to give you guys access to this event like no other. If not, we'll just be stealing their stream and talking shit. Either way, it's going to be the place you want to be. And then that will be full blast from Thursday the 13th, Friday the 14th, Saturday the 15th, Sunday the 16th. We will not be doing the news this Sunday. I don't know if we're ever going to do the news again with Hobart and Kate. I may have to find some others to help. I need to still check that out. When I did the Scorch Earth in the last week, I may have accidentally. Do you have the dragon, Caleb? By any chance? Oh yeah. So we had one of these events occur, and I was a little careless with my. Have you guys seen the Scorch Earth graphic?
No, is this something I want to see?
Definitely want to see this. You, Caleb, but should I get it or are you getting it? Oh, he's got it. He said, "One moment, please."
Brian, is there a place that we can find the Wodapalooza schedule for the when events are streaming?
That's a great question. I'd like to have that in my inbox. Could I get the Wodapalooza schedule in my inbox so that we know where to send the reporters?
I was told that they should have been putting that up on their maybe on their app or something today.
They have an app? Ah, there it is. So I was doing some of this.
Khaleesi.
Yeah. So you see this, can you make that GIF a little bigger, Mr. Caleb? See this dragon? I'm doing this thing. And if you look, there's some people who got torched there.
Are you telling me this guy on the outskirts there that just was supposed to get missed but got hit is Hobart?
Yes. I'm saying that could have been Hobart or Kate Gordon. I don't know, but and I'm gonna do a few more flybys, so I'm not sure. I'm gonna do a few more flybys. Oh man, what a meeting we had today, CrossFit HQ. Okay, guys, thank you so much. That is important. So what is it? So there's some things we still need to find out, and we'll get to you as soon as we can. We need a schedule. Hopefully we need an official list of athletes. We need some spaces. I mean, and maybe this is just me. I haven't searched the Wodapalooza website. Maybe that stuff's all up there. We need a schedule, meaning what time we're going to be live, so we can start laying this out. We need to know exactly who's going to be there, and then we'll start getting that information to you as soon as we can. Another great live show. Thank you guys very much. See you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with Anthony Davis.